Welcome to Hacking Self-Storage. It is, I think it's a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday when this comes out. Yes, it's a Wednesday. And today we're talking about the monthly figures in December, what went right and what went wrong. Interesting month, really interesting month. Do you know what? My accountant always says he's got this message that he puts on for every monthly review that he goes through the figures, and he goes, it is the most vital and important 10 minutes, quarter of an hour, half an hour that you can spend is looking at previous results, looking at previous data from the month just gone past. And I couldn't agree more. When we look at the figures, when we look at the data, we can always learn something from it. And it's incredible what we've learned this month. So in the month of December, we had a bit of a nightmare with our SEO, a massive nightmare. And the reason being is because we changed from storemorehull.co.uk to Storemore, because there's no way we can open in South Shields, for example, and call it storemorehull.co.uk. So we purchased a domain about 9 months ago, storemore.co.uk, and we knew that when we did a 401 redirect, it was going to lose traction. It was going to lose Google rankings. It can take up to 6 months to get your rankings back, if you ever get it all back. Because don't forget the fact that we had Storemore Hull in the domain, storage, Hull, store, more, store, Hull, it would massively help the ranking system. So we know that we're going to lose something there because it's Storemore. Now it's not Storemore. It's not Storemore Hull, it's storemore.co.uk. So therefore, we know we're going to lose a bit of traction there as well. And we might never, ever, ever get back to where it was. Not ever, ever. It might take a longer time because we're losing something. So we knew that was going to be a problem. However, because we changed over to Storemore, it wasn't an SEO thing because we knew that it would be gone. The rankings would have gone completely, and they did. But what was a problem was our pay-per-clicks. Because we changed over to storemore.co.uk, we couldn't get our pay-per-clicks back. For some reason, this is why it's so incredibly scary for me as a self-storage owner, the fact that all of a sudden Google took our campaigns away. They kept rejecting whatever campaigns we was working on, and it was something to do with mobile friendly. There was a problem. We was about pay-per-clicks for 6 or 7 days, and our quotes tanked, but it was the best ever month to do it. In terms of a month to do it, it couldn't be better than December. December was the best month to do it because it is the slowest month for quotes for self-storage traditionally, and so it was the best month to do it. However, we fixed the problem, but I can't lie, it's a bit scary. It's a bit scary to have all your quotes taken off you because we rely so much on Google. And you know what? I'm a massive advocate for finding other customer streams, other ways to acquire customers, but it's bloody hard. It is bloody hard for self-storage, and Google is a Goliath. There is no doubt about it. And I'm looking and always listening and always trying to learn for ways that we can change, and we're not so reliant on Google. But it is what it is, unfortunately. And for anybody who tells you that the majority of their quotes come from other avenues, I smell bullshit. I call bullshit. No chance. No way on earth. If you're a fairly sizable self-storage facility, it just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Maybe if you're getting, I don't know, sub 50 quotes per month, maybe you're going to get them from somewhere else. Maybe you can get them from somewhere else. But if you're getting anywhere north of 100 quotes a month, the majority of those are going to come from Google. And I love my digital marketing. I'm in loads of other groups, Facebook groups for marketing. I'm in all of them because I want to learn and educate myself. But it is what it is in the self-storage industry. Do I like it? No. Do I accept it? No, not all the time, because I'm still trying to look for other ways of doing it. But are we going to make sure that we try our very, very best to make the most of the situation? Absolutely. So Google for us is key. And that was taken away from us. And so our quotes went down significantly. We had 140 quotes throughout the month. That's an average of 4.52 quotes per day. Still not too bad considering that our rankings tanked and our pay-per-clicks were taken away. Still not bad whatsoever. However, it's when I'm recording this, it's January 17th, and we've nearly had that many quotes already in the month of January. Incredible. Number of reservations were 47. So the reservations were pretty strong. That means that there was a conversion rate. Here we go. Conversion quotes to reservations was 38%. Incredible. Really beautiful stuff from the team. 38% of quotes got reserved. Unbelievable. Fantastic. Number of move-ins. Here we go. Where's the actual move-ins? Number of square foot move-ins was, number of move-ins was 41. So 41 move-ins. So that meant it was a 29% conversion rates from quotes to the one way around here. Let me just see this. I'll tell you what, I'm going to pause this just for a second because I just want to get my calculator on. I might have spotted a problem, an issue. Do you know what? I might not have done as well. So we'll just pause it for 1 second and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, there was a little mistake there. I don't know how it happened, but yeah, I try to when I'm working out these conversions. Not when I'm working them, but when I get the report, I just do a quick calculation in my head while I'm talking to you guys, and I thought, hang about a minute, that seems wrong. Yeah, so basically, the conversion rate quotes to reservations wasn't 38%; it was actually 34%, and the conversion rate from move-ins. So we got 41 move-ins. To quotes was 29%. So that one was right. So still very, very good there. 29% conversion rates from quotes to move-ins is brilliant, spectacular. Cancelled reservations. So we had 5 cancelled reservations. That was 11% of our overall reservations. The expired reservations was 2. So that meant it was 4%. So together it was around about 15% of our overall cancellations, and expired was about 15% of our overall reservations. The industry standards is around about, I'm led to believe, I still don't think it is. I've been told it's 30%. I don't know if that's true because that seems extraordinarily high. I want to be definitely under 10%. So I think that that's too high. 15% for me is too high as well. But we are testing stuff, and we do believe we'll get that down a lot as well. And that will be down to doing more forward move-ins to make sure they do the paperwork when they do the reservation. The more we can get them to buy in and the time to do a reservation, the more the more paperwork they do, the less likely they are to cancel. That's the point there. Okay, marketing. Where does our quotes come from? Well, funny you should say. Interesting. Google was still top. Google was still top, even though we had a week where no pay-per-clicks advertisements. So 94% of our quotes came from Google. That's 67%. Number of total move-ins from Google was 22. We moved in 1,475 square foot from, how much square foot in total did we move in? Really should, we basically moved in total new square foot. We moved in 3,000 square foot, 3,030 square foot. So 1,475 square foot we actually moved in from Google, and that was 53%, so 54% of our overall move-ins. However, it was only 49% of our overall square foot moved in. So very interesting there. Word of mouth. I love this data. 17 quotes came from word of mouth. That was 12% of our overall inquiries. We moved in 5 customers and we moved in 500 square foot from them. So percentage move-ins was 12. So 12% of our move-ins came from word of mouth. Percentage of square foot moved in was 17%. So although it was only 12% of our inquiries, it was 17% of our overall square foot moved in. Interesting. Signs, they're hot leads for me because you've driven past. So that must mean the location is ticked. So signs, we've got 18 quotes from our signs, which is 13% of our overall inquiries. We had 8 move-ins for 625 square foot. That meant we had overall square foot, so percentage of move-ins came from signs was 20%, and also 21% came from square foot moved in. So that's 21% of our overall square foot moved in. Hopefully all that makes sense to you. Beverly 24, we had 1 quote from Beverly 24, and that was 0.71 percentage of our inquiries and 1 new customer. So we basically had 1% of the overall square foot moved in was from Beverly 24 because it was only 25 square foot room, and 2.44% of our overall move-ins came from there. Used before, do you know what? It doesn't really matter. For me, it doesn't really matter what percentage of move-ins. It more matters what percent of square footage. So I will only tell you the square footage from now on. I say that, I'll probably forget I even mentioned that next month. So used before, we had 5. This is interesting. This is down. I would expect more. I would expect a lot more. Used before was 5 quotes. So that was 4% of our overall inquiries. And that only give us 1 new customer for 25 square foot. So it was only 0.83% of all the square foot moved in, which isn't good. Well, it isn't good. It's It's very, very, you would expect it to be a lot higher, a lot higher. However, it's a small sample size. So social media, we had 3 quotes from social media. Again, that was 2% of our overall inquiries. Nobody moved in. And yeah, it's bullshit. It's social media advertising. When people find you from, it's rubbish. Absolutely. And I know I disagree with a lot of people on this, but I still maintain it is rubbish, because I've gone into reasons before loads of times, but the stats are the stats, and they don't lie. And you can say, well, you're not doing it right. I spent an ungodly amount of money on courses for social media and Facebook marketing, Facebook targeting, and all that lot. I've done everything. And I just don't see how there's an ROI on it. I just don't see. I don't get it. I don't see it. And this is from somebody who built a business, a net profit business of 100 grand just using social media, organic as well, not any ads or anything. It was a software that I provided for some people, and £100,000 net profit. And so I did a lot of research on social media and learned how to do social media. But it's horses for courses, and I just don't see how social media is relevant for. And by the way, we post all the time. I'm not saying you shouldn't post. Of course you should post, because again, it's another tick in the box, because you want that customer to feel comfortable and confident that you are still active, you're still open, you're still, it gives more trust. So I still believe in posting on social media. I just don't believe you're going to get a lot of customers find you through social media. I don't believe it. And I know there's been a big talk at the conference, but I disagree. So it's good, because that's what makes the world go around. We can disagree, we can have informed conversation about it, but somebody has one opinion, I have a different opinion, and it's good, because it means it sparks debate, and we love debate. But for me, yeah, I don't believe. And by the way, every self-storage business who say they do well on and say that they do this, that, and the other through social media, I've been through their whole, and I mean their whole history for years on social, and I don't believe they're getting the results they think they're getting from it. And I don't know what I think. I don't think something tallies up correctly, but who knows? They could be right, I could be wrong. But this is why I love self-storage. I love debating all marketing. It's fantastic. I've got a note here saying 2 inquiries are from removal referrals, which had 1 move-in for 125 square foot. There was 3 move-ins were from estate agents, 1 75 square foot, and 2 times 180 square foot, 2 at 180 square foot. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, that's it. Right. So Google ad spend last month. As you know, we had a week without any ad spend. So it was less than we normally spend. It was £2,614, which meant the cost to acquire a customer, such an important metric to measure, was £118.84. So that is good for us. Actual cost of, by the way, I do ideally want it to be £100, but we know how much a lifetime value of a customer is, and so we're making plenty of money from that point of view. So it doesn't mean that we take it for granted and we don't want to get it discounted. I've got my door open here. I'm absolutely bloody freezing because I'm expecting a delivery, and I think they've just turned up, so I might have to pause it. The actual cost of advertising this month for Google per square foot was £1.77. That is a little bit high. I'm just going to check. I won't put it in a second. I'm going to pause it. Right, I'm back. It was a delivery. God, I keep pausing this podcast out. For those of you watching on YouTube or wherever, on LinkedIn, you will see I've got a nice new jacket on. Okay, right, so let's get back to it. So number of move-ins. We know there's 41 move-ins last month, and we had 3,030 square foot moved in. That was all new square foot. So in total, because we have people moving rooms and taking extra rooms, we had another 810 square foot there. So it was 840 square foot moved in total. How much square foot do we have move out? That is a big question. We had 1,500. Oh, sorry, 1,500. I wish it was 1,500. Get this. We had 5,585 square foot move out, which meant we was a net result of 1,745 square foot moved out. So it wasn't a positive month by any stretch of imagination, but you kind of expect that from December. December's always a bad month, apart from last year when I think it was a positive month, but normally it's a negative month for us. So we had 53 internal rooms move in. We had 63 internal rooms move out. So it was a total of 10 rooms negative. So we've got 340 occupied at the minute. Containers in, we had 2 containers in, we had 4 out, so it was -2. So that means we've got 43 external units occupied at the minute. Car parking, we've got rid of another 2 car parking spaces. So that means we've only got 7 car parking spaces now. We currently have square foot occupied as a building is 30,370. So we don't want to get past that, down below that 30,000 mark. That is 78.25% of our store is occupied as of the end of December. Lock sales, lock sales was 22. So we only have 54% of lock sales. Packaging material, this is actually quite poor, actually. £501 of packaging material. We want to be £1,000-ish there. So the average sales per moving was only £12.24. So we expect 25 quid there. So that's why we expect £1,000 on that one. True period revenue was £74,042.25. The difference is we went up from last month, £2,094. So that was good. Was it difference from last month? The total difference was £1,491 up from last month, so not too bad there. The actual revenue, including VAT and all that good stuff, was 87,000. Actually, is that how much we've actually taken? Let's have a look. Yeah, this is actual revenue. So this is cash we've taken, including VAT, was £87,758.73 at Stormont and Willoughby. The total amount of new customer insurance sold this month was £203,000 worth of insurance. That meant the average insurance sold was £5,109.65. Number of times the van was rented out. Ooh, interesting. The Transit was rented out 14 times. The Luton, guess how many times the Luton was rented out? Prizes for anybody who guessed it right. But you got to prove you guessed it. I don't know how you're going to prove it. Luton rented out 17 times. So that means the total van revenue from the insurance that we take was £1,185, which is, it's good. Yeah, it's good. It's anything over £1,000. We cover the costs, etc. So it's a win for us and a win for the customer. The amount of FIFA reviews, not good. We only got 2 5-star FIFA reviews. We've got 2 for product as well, but it's the same customers. And we only got 2 Google reviews. So not very good for Google reviews on that one. Right, let's have a look at some revenue and then we'll go into the chain. So the revenue for the whole month was, the true period revenue was £86,949.93, and the actual revenue was £87,758.73. So it was a positive £808. So we took basically more than the true period revenue said we should do. I keep checking the time. The Beverly true period revenue was, true period revenue was £16,390. The actual revenue was only £13,773.60. So it was negative £2,527.30. So we took that less than the figures the software said we should do. However, that it's a bit misguided because last month was a big positive anyway. Okay, let's have a look at the chain rate. I'm going to try and get the figures up. Here we go. We've got the figures. Square foot tab. We definitely have too many reports that I make the team do me. So chain rate, it's almost identical. So I have 2 chain rates. I have square foot chain rate, and I also have the so I have square foot chain rate, and I have the actual based on customers. So we have the room chain rate and square foot chain rate, if that makes any difference to you. But they're both, they're identical just about. So it's 17% for both. So our chain rate for December was 17%. We want it to be around about 12% at the minute. And the month before it was 20. The month before that was 25. The month before that was 18. And so the chain rate is high. So we just have to keep an eye on it. It was, by the way, it's 17th of January when we're recording this. The chain rate was really, really good for Clough Road, for Willoughby, sorry, at the start of January. But then we've one day we lost, as you know, if you've been listening to the podcast, we lost 900 square foot in one day. So the chain rate will shot up. Anyway, that, my friends. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give you my quarterly update, including my net profit, etc. for P&L. I give all that away, and that is on Friday. And there's some amazing takeaways, by the way, amazing takeaways for that. All right, my friends, thank you for listening. See you soon.